Fuck. Ugh. What's up, guys? This is Looby from Vollstin, and today I'm going to be doing like a rig rundown. I'm going to be going over what I use on my personal drum kit for Vollstin. So let's get this started. So today I figured I would bring out the whiteboard just to draw up and name everything that I have, because I tend to speak fast, so somebody might not catch anything. And instead of replaying the video, you can just come back to the whiteboard and look at it in case you guys are interested in anything that I use. So let's get started. I'll just draw a quick picture here of the kit, and I'll just draw little lines everywhere on what exactly I'm using. So let's get started. Alright, so this is like the basic aerial view of my kit. I have a let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a 7-piece for shells. I'm using a Tama Rockstar. So I'm using a Tama Rockstar. I've had that kit probably since I think 2014 or 2015, something like that. I've had it for a very long time, but it's been doing me great. I love it, honestly. It looks great, it sounds great, and it holds up really well. The hardware on it I have never had a problem with, other than minor rust, but WD-40 fixes that lickety split. Let me go over the drum sizes, and then I'll hit the cymbals, and then we'll hit like extra gear, like cymbal stands, pedals, what seat, heads, and things like that. So I have a 10-inch. I have a 10-inch rack tom for my small one on the far left. I have a 12-inch rack tom, and I have a 13. My favorite one probably is the 10-inch rack tom. I think it sounds the best. That the 10 and the 12. 13, I have a little trouble tuning, but you know, you get there. These two are my favorite by far. I'm also rocking a 16-inch floor tom and a 14 by 5.5. I think it's 14 by 5.5 snare. And the snare's different, but I'll get to the snare. I'll go over that separately after I review the whole drum kit. But the snare is different, and you'll see why. So those are my basic drums. And the kick is a 20 by 22, I believe. It's either that 22 by 20 or a 20 by 22, one of those. So I'm not sure, honestly. We got the 14-inch snare, and then let's hit these cymbals. I'm rocking all Zildjian cymbals. I've been using those my entire life. I've had one pasty, no Sabians, nothing else, just Zildjian and the one pasty, which I never went back to. Wasn't a big fan of it. But for cymbals, I'm rocking right here we have a 13-inch ZBT hi-hat pair. The ZBTs sound okay. I'm for sure looking to upgrade. I would not recommend ZBTs personally. I have them because they're cheap and we were low on budget, and my top one broke, and Justin was very kind enough to lend me a top one, so that's why I'm using that. For right here, that's my left cymbal. I'm using an 18-inch Zildjian A Custom. By far my favorite cymbal I have on this set. I've never had a problem with it. I've had it for like 2 years. Sturdy as hell. By far my favorite cymbal, and it sounds crisp. I love it. The sound of it is unparalleled to anything I've had, honestly. Right here I'm rocking a 16-inch, another ZBT. I had a 16-inch, it was an A Custom as well, but that broke. And we opted for the ZBT just because it was cheap. I got it for Christmas, honestly. It's not the best, like I said. If you have a ZBT, I would definitely upgrade. But it gets the job done for now, and it doesn't have any cracks. And I've had it for a year and a half. Next up, we got our ride, which is a 20-inch Planet Z. This ride is actually interesting. I got this on my basically my first drum kit. I've had that thing for years, never had a problem with it. The sound is phenomenal, and the bell is even better. It doesn't have a crack. It's not showing any signs of wear other than a little grime on it. Lemon juice will take care of that, by the way. Thanks, Justin. But it's probably my second favorite cymbal on the set. It just sounds awesome. I think they're pretty cheap, so you can pick them up pretty easily. But it just sounds amazing, and I honestly wouldn't trade it for any other ride. I love it so much. The ping is crazy, the bell is loud, and it has the sound that I want for Vollstin. So that's why I use it. Next up, we've got our China. We're using I take my words back about the Zildjian. We're using a 16-inch Wuhan. I'm using a Wuhan because I read a lot of reviews on Chinas before I bought them. And that one was not only cheap because I was poor, and it had amazing reviews. Wuhan sounds amazing for how cheap you can get them. By far my favorite China I've ever used. Only thing is they break pretty often. That's my second one, and it already has a crack in it. I will get to that when I go over the kit. But Wuhan's overall sound very good. I would recommend Wuhan. They have ranging from probably like 12-inch to like 22-inch Chinas, honestly. I don't even know if they make 22-inch Chinas, but you can check online. So that's my cymbals. Let's get to, we'll go to drum heads. On drum heads, I'm using all Evans. Spelled that wrong. Using all Evans heads. On the snare, I'm using an HG Genera Dry, I believe. It might be a different one. That's the one I usually prefer. If they didn't have it at Guitar Center, then I got for the closest thing to it. But usually I use an HG Genera Dry for the snare. And then for all my rack toms, I'm using the Evans Black Chrome. There's no R here. So for the Evans, I'm using my black chromes. Those things are by far my favorite heads I've ever purchased. They're a bit more pricey, but they sound amazing. And I'm a big guy on using the toms. I love them. They're phenomenal. The sustain isn't too bad on them. They're really punchy, and they have the sound that I want for Vollstin, and they look fucking dope. They look badass, honestly. So the black chromes, I would totally recommend. Evans did a wonderful job with those heads. They're amazing. Oh yeah, let's get to, on the kick, I'm using, I don't even know what I'm using on the kick, honestly. It's an Evans, I know that. So on the kick, it's Evans. When we get to the portion kit of looking at it, I'll go down there and check what it is and write it on the board. So that's overall layout of the drums I'm using. Tama Rockstar, all Evans heads, basically all Zildjian cymbals minus the Wuhan China. And let's just get to the pedals real quick. So for pedals, very disorganized. Pedals, I'm using Tama. I'm using Tama Iron Cobra 200s. I wouldn't recommend them. I'm gonna try and buy pedals as soon as I can. For now, they get the job done, but for what money you could spend on something, other pedals, you might not be able to get a better pair. But I would recommend spending the money, and that's something I regret not doing. Try and get better pedals, but that's what I use. Tama Iron Cobras, Tama Rockstar, Evans heads, Zildjian cymbals, Wuhan. And then let's go check out the kit now so you can see it and stuff. Alright. Alright, now we're behind the kit so you can see everything. Right here I got my ZBTs. I have my A Custom, Best Crash on the kit. We have the ZBT Crash over here. We have the Wuhan, and there's the crack in it. My other one has the exact same crack, so I'm probably going to purchase another one of these pretty soon. And we also have our Planet Z ride. This is probably my favorite ride I've ever used. I've used a couple other rides on different kits, but this one is unparalleled in my opinion. And then here's the snare head. Me and Justin like to draw on them, so we're gonna make a wall of all our drawings and stuff. But as you can see, it's a, where is it? Ooh. It's a Genera HD, so it's not quite the Genera HD Dry, because when I bought it, Guitar Center did not have that exact one. So I settled for this one. Not terrible, but on the wall, I have the HD Genera Dry. As you can see, it has these little holes in it, which honestly affect the sound a lot. It gives it a lot more of a punch. That's the HG Genera Dry. Right here we have our Evans black chrome heads. These things are phenomenal. All Evans black chrome. Right, like that. Then here's our Tama Iron Cobra 200s. They've been through hell, honestly. I've had them for a couple years now, and we're due for an upgrade. Right now we'll go over the kick real quick. It's an Evans, looks like EMAD, just regular Evans EMAD. What I put in my kick, as you can see, there's a pillow there. I put an entire pillow, and there's this felt around it, like this squishy stuff. I'll get inside the kick. I have a big porthole on the front when I go back around the kit to show you guys exactly what's in there. But I like my kick to be very, very punchy, have very little sustain, and I like it to have a very, I don't know what you would call it, but I love the sound of my kick. I've always had a wonderful kick sound. Thank you to the Tama and the Evans EMAD. Let's go over the hardware I use real quick. Sticks included, all like my cymbal stands, and that's really it other than that stuff. So let's get started. Right now I'm using a DW 7000 series for my hi-hat stand. This thing, very, very functional. I really like it. Never had a problem with it. And for these, I think I'm just using, that's a PDP stand. I think all my stands are PDP. Besides that one for my ride. I don't know what it is, honestly, but it's huge. But I'm using PDP, PDP, PDP. Never had a problem with either of these stands. I like this one a little more. It's a little bit bigger, a little more durable than these other two. But these ones get the job done, especially for the light cymbals that they're holding. And I've never had a problem with them either, honestly. But they do a great job. And for sticks, I'm using Vic Firth 5As. I've always been a 5B person, but I recently came across the 5As. And they make my playing a lot quicker. I just prefer them now because they're a little bit lighter, not as heavy and bulky as the 5Bs. So Vic Firth 5As, probably one of my favorites. I've been looking for the Shoguns as well. I've used those once and they were amazing. So if I can find the Shoguns, I'm gonna grab those at whatever opportunity I can. So right now it's just Vic Firth 5As. They get the job done. And then on the inside of the kick, as you can see, I have that huge porthole. Huge. I have this like felt stuff going all around the kick and this dirty pillow. I don't know why it's so dirty, but that's all I have in the kick, and it gives me a fantastic kick sound, especially when I have metal kick pads on the front. Finally, for the snare, probably one of the most important aspects of everyone's drum kit. Funny story about this specific snare. I was using the snare that came with my original kit. It was a Tama Rockstar snare. Didn't really know anything about it, but its size. And my buddy found a kit on the side of the street. So he asked me if I wanted it, and I said, yeah, I'll take it, free kit, I don't care. We were playing around with it a little bit, it was okay, but the snare sounded amazing, way better than the one I originally had. So we took the bad boy from that bad boy, and we put it on my kit, and this is actually a Pearl. I don't know anything about this snare other than it's a Pearl, and the sign here says limited edition. So that's all we know about it, honestly, and the hardware is perfect on it. It's in perfect condition when we got it. There was nothing wrong with it. For a free snare drum that you found on the side of the street, you can't beat it. It sounds awesome. I don't know if you can read that here, but that's all we know about it. It's a Pearl limited edition. That's all I know. And for being a Tama player, playing a Pearl snare, I don't know. Maybe I'll switch to Pearl one day. Maybe, we'll see. But yeah, that's the snare. Pearl, limited edition, all black. And that's all I know. But that's the snare, guys. Let's continue. Alright guys, that's it for the rig rundown. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what I do. I apologize for the messiness. I've never made one before, but I'll make a better one next time. When I get a new kit, anything new on the kit, I'll update you guys with. So I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, smash that like button, and listen to our new EP, The Shallow, on all streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, Apple Music. It's on YouTube, obviously. So give that a listen, give it a share, drop a sub, drop a like, and more videos to come of your favorite band, Vollstin. So thank you.